Hi, this is Dr. Eric Fields, a psychologist who has been specializing in addiction for over 20 years. Today, I am discussing the topic, who is more motivated to change and get help? When you are a parent of a son or daughter, regardless of how old they are, and they are struggling with gambling addiction, one of the first questions that you have to honestly answer for yourself is, who is more motivated in this situation to change this situation? So many of you are going to come to the conclusion that it is you who are more motivated. Now, I know that the common perception of addiction is that it's a disease and the person has absolutely no control over it. And I'm here to tell you that that is absolutely false. And what I mean by that is, I'm not saying that an addiction is not difficult to overcome. Absolutely not. What I am saying is that it is not a disease that they have absolutely no control over. They have limited control, they are extremely vulnerable, and for all intents and purposes, they are stuck in this very unhealthy pattern. But that doesn't mean they are completely helpless. They, at the very least, are still able to get in touch with a therapist or attend a support group or reach out to some type of professional for help. That is within their control. So the goal here is to get your son or daughter the help that they need. So often, I get phone calls for therapy from the parents of the kids struggling with the addiction. And I can tell you that the success rate in those situations is quite low. Just in terms of who contacts me, I can tell you that there is a great difference in the success rate for that individual who's struggling. So if somebody is struggling with a gambling addiction and they reach out to me for help, well, there's a lot of potential for them to get a handle on this. But if it's the mom or the dad who's reaching out to me to try to help their son, even if their son or daughter has given them permission to reach out to me, the success rate is going to be very low because it shows me that that person is not that committed to trying to change and to trying to get help. And the more that the parents do for the kid, the lower the success rate is. So there's a difference between a parent saying, "Hey, I'm just calling around, different therapists to try to see if someone's available to help my kid," as opposed to, "Hey, I'm calling around to find different therapists, and then I'm also going to set up the appointment, and then I'm also going to do this and that," and basically spoon feed them the entire way. Okay. And I'll even go as far as to remind my son or daughter at the time of their sessions. I'll do rescheduling for them if I need it. So now you basically become their secretary, right? The success rate just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. Okay. So what I'm proposing is that if you are clearly the one who's more motivated for your son and daughter to get help, then the way to help them is to not run around and doing all this legwork to try to get a therapist for them. It's not to lecture them for hours and hours ad nauseum. It's not making them feel guilty or horrible about their addiction and the impact that it's had on you. It's not completely cutting them out of your life. Like, that's not the way to help them. And so you might be wondering, well, what the heck is left? I can't just cut them off and do tough love. I can't lecture the heck out of them. I can't try to make them feel totally guilty about the situation. And I can't even try to find them a therapist and try to get them into some kind of, helping situation. No, not if they're not that motivated, but you are, right? So I know you're motivated. The reason why I know this is because you subscribe to my email list and you're interested in learning more about how I help parents. So I know you're motivated. And if your son or daughter is as motivated as you, then maybe you don't need my help because that's great. You guys can work as a team and they'll go and find a therapist on their own and get themselves the help, and that will be great. Or go to a support group or something of that nature. Or if it's really like extremely bad, check themselves into rehab. Okay. And by the way, I'm not saying that you can't help your son or daughter financially. You might need to help them financially to get the professional help that they need. So that's fine. I totally understand that as a parent, but you can't be doing all the legwork for them. Okay. So if you guys are both equally motivated, you're not going to need my help. And of course, if your son or daughter is more motivated than you, this is, you're not even going to be, listening to me right now, right? I'm really talking to the parents who are like, oh my gosh, I'm struggling so much. I know my son or daughter is struggling a lot, but I know I'm struggling. And I'm struggling more than them because I am the one who's trying to resolve the situation. I'm taking steps. I'm researching ways of helping my son or daughter. And that's what brought you to me. This is the kind of help that you need if you're more motivated for your son and daughter to really fix this problem. Okay? Because how I work with parents is I help them learn how to talk to their kids, how to listen to their kids, and how to really rebuild their relationship with their kids so that their struggling kids are more likely to get the help they need. Basically, I'm teaching parents the skills that they need to make it much more likely that their kid is going to want to get help and therefore is going to take action to get help. They're going to be the ones taking action, not you. This is how I help parents. You need to learn this approach to really reach your kids and motivate them. Now, of course, there's no guarantee, right? But I will tell you this. If you keep doing what you're doing, the chances of you being successful is really, really low. And if you're doing what I'm telling you to do, the chances of really reaching your kid and them getting the help that they need are really, really high. Because my approach is based on research that shows that this stuff that I teach parents actually works. So what I'm saying essentially is it's actually okay if you're the more motivated one in this relationship. But if that's the situation, then you need to follow a very specific type of approach. And that is the one that I teach parents. If you are interested in learning more about how I can actually help you, the best way is to jump on a call with me. I am not a salesperson. I'm not going to be pushy. I'm not going to try to get you to pay for my service. I'm simply going to have a conversation with you, a candid conversation, going over exactly how I can help you, explaining my approach in greater detail, and then it will be up to you if you want to contact me again and actually receive my help. This is Dr. Fields, and I'll send you another email on a different topic at a different time. For now, I hope you have a great weekend. Take care.